Then printf. Suppose I write here okay. Without any curly bracket. Suppose I write here. Okay. Without any curly bracket, I write two statements under if, then else. Then write printf. Suppose yes. Can anyone tell me what is the output here? Suppose
so it will be either hello okay or okay yes.
Okay. Suppose x value is here, x value is equal to 5 and y value is supposed to.
Hello.
Only hello.
What is the output here?
Only hello.
Hello, okay.
It will be hello okay, sir.
It will give an error. Okay.
Yes, sir.
It will give an error.
Without if.
That error is misplaced else error. Okay. Misplaced else error. Why it will give an error? Because we have two statements, means more than one statement after if without any curly bracket. Okay. Without any curly bracket, we have more than one statement after if. So it will give an error, misplaced else. That means else should be here in this line. If I don't have any curly bracket. So it will give an error, misplaced else. And this type of if is known as hanging statement in C. Okay.
So is it only applicable for if-else statement or while?
Yeah. This is also known as hanging if. Okay. This statement is also known as hanging if. Okay. And this gives an error, misplaced else error.
So can you please repeat?
If we have more than one statement after if without any curly bracket before else, it will give an error, misplaced else. Okay. And this type of if is known as your hanging if statement. Which gives an error, misplaced. Okay. Next. What is the difference between percentage I and percentage P?
Integer and
Used to denote the decimal integers, whereas percentage D is used to denote integers which can be hexadecimal as well as decimal or octal.
You know, there are three types of integer in C. Okay, there are three types of integer. One is decimal integer, another is octal integer, another is hexadecimal integer. But this percentage D always consider the number as decimal. You entered anything, it will consider as decimal. But percentage I can consider the number as your decimal, your hexadecimal, or octal. Let me say an example. Okay. Let me share my Dev C++ here. I'll take an example to show you the difference between percentage D and percentage I. Okay. See here. Suppose I declare a variable intx. Okay. And I write here scanf percentage D ampersand. Okay. Then I write here printf percentage D x. Okay. Now let me run this program. My output screen is visible? The black screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me enter 027. What will be the output? Can anyone tell me if I enter 027?
7.
Sir, octal.
Not so well. It will display 27. But you know that any number starting with 0 is an octal integer?
Yes, sir.
But this percentage D does not recognize it. Okay. Now in this case, if I use percentage I here, percentage I. Now when I enter 027, it will consider as your octal. So here now run. Let me run one again here. Now suppose I entered 027. You know what is the output here? Because I am displaying it.
027.
No,
27.
27.
no, here. Is this 23? You know what? When I am displaying it, I am
Converted to
Converting it into decimal.
converting it to
yeah, it will convert
decimal.
into decimal. I entered 027, but when I display it, it converts into your decimal here 23. Means I percentage I is considered it as octal, and when I display it, it converts into decimal because I have given percentage D. So now, what is the decimal value of 027 in octal? 23. Okay. Similarly, in case of hexadecimals here, well, let me run one second. Suppose I entered 0x27. Okay. What is the output here? 39. Okay. That is the decimal value of this hexadecimal 27. But if I give percentage D in scanner, what will happen? It will always consider as 27. Okay. If I give here percentage D, it will always consider as 27. It may be 0.27 or 0.27, it will consider as 27. But percentage I, now what is the difference between percentage D and percentage I? Percentage I can consider the number as decimal, octal or hexadecimal, but percentage D always consider the number as decimal. D for decimal, I for integer. And we have three types of integer in C. Okay, decimal integer, octal integer, and hexadecimal. Remember the difference. Now, what is percentage N represent in C? Format specifier. What is percentage N represent? Here we are now fundamental of C. I'm trying to clear a fundamental. Then you go for programming.
The number of characters entered.
Number of characters entered. Yes. Let me see the example here also. See the example. Suppose I declare x comma y, two variables.
Sir, your voice is very low.
Now it is audible?
Yes.
His voice is very low.
It's low.
So you please, mic थोड़ा सामने ले.
पूरा mic सामने है पूरा. Let me. Okay. Just wait. Just. Set करो थोड़ा मैं. Just wait a minute. Now I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Now sir is okay.
तो वॉल्यूम थोड़ा कम हो गया था. Okay. So I declared two variables here, x and y. I give scanf percentage D, percentage N, then ampersand x, ampersand y. You know, this will allow only one number to input. Okay, one number to input. Now if I write here, x is equal to percentage dx, then y is equal to percentage d and y. Now let me run this program and input a value, and we'll check what is the output here. Now my screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Suppose I entered 2567. You know where this value will be stored? 2567.
X.
It will be stored in X. But you know what is the Y value here?
4.
That will be 4.
4.
Okay. Let me run one second. Another test case. Okay. Suppose I entered 24567. 5 digit. Now X value will be 24567. But Y value how much? 5 here. That means, suppose if you want to check how many digits of a number, you don't have to write program. We can use like this also. This percentage D is for decimal. And what value I enter, that is stored in X. But percentage n will encounter check how many digits you have entered. If you have entered 4 digits, then percentage n will be 4 and that value will be stored in y. If you will enter 5 digits, then percentage will encounter 5 and it will be stored in y.
Sir, for this, do we need to call any specific library function or something?
Nothing is required here. This is format specifier.
Yes.
Okay.
Sir, can you show this with percentage I?
Yes.
With percentage I instead of percentage
Sir, does percentage n work with varchar?
Which one?
Sir, does percentage n work with string? Does it tell how many?
Yes. How many characters you have entered? It will show you also. Okay. How many characters you have entered? It can be this. Okay. Percentage I is very. I can write like this. Percentage I. See here. If I entered 027, why will you have much? 3, because I have entered 3 digits. 027. Clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next one. What is percentage G represent? Can I enter percentage G? You know the floating point number can be represented in 2 formats. One is the decimal format, another is your exponential format.
Yes, sir.
Okay. One floating point number can be represented. Suppose float I take. It can represent either in decimal, okay, decimal format, or in exponential format. Means when I write 2.5 f or 2.5 or 2.5 f, that is in decimal. But when it will be 1.5 into e to the power something, okay, e to the power 3 or something, suppose 3, then that is in exponential format. Okay. You know, for decimal format, we have percentage f is there. For exponential format, we have percentage e is there or percentage capital E is there. Now, if it is a small number, and if I give percentage e, it will always print in exponential. Okay. If it is a big number, if I give percentage f, it will display in floating point format. But there is a common format is there that is called percentage g. What it will do? If it is a small number, it will display in this format. If it is a big number, it will display in exponential format. Okay. If it is a small number, in case of percentage g, it is a common format. If, once again, percentage f will always display the number in decimal format. Percentage e always display the number, floating point number in exponential format. So there is a common format is there called percentage g. I can use percentage capital G also. Percentage g, which will either display the number in decimal format or it will display the number in exponential format. If it is a small number, it will display in decimal format. If it is a big number, then it will display in exponential format. That is a common format we have, percentage g. We can give in printf. Okay.
So could you give an example?
Okay, no problem. See here. My screen is visible. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, suppose I give float x is equal to 2.56789. Okay. Let me give it in comment. Or let me remove it. Now, if I write x is equal to percentage g, percentage e, percentage e, then x. See the output here. Semicolon. In which format it is displaying?
Exponential.
So it is a small number. It is displaying exponential format, e plus 0, 0, e to the power, you can say. Okay?
Yes.
If I give capital E here, the small will be capital here. No other difference. It is just capital here. Okay. And why adding 0 here? Because by default, the default is 6 digit. After this one, you will have 6 digit by default. Okay. Now suppose I make it a big number. Okay. See the output here.
तो मतलब अभी आया बाथरूम से.
Okay. 2.6 into e to the power 13.
Yes.
Okay. Because you have written in percentage is given. If I give percentage F here, it will display in decimal format. Okay. But if I give percentage G, if I give percentage G here,
Sir, I guess someone's
mute
mic is
yourself.
on mute.
Mute yourself. मुझे mute करना. Okay. If I give now percentage G, what happens here? It is displaying exponential format.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me write a small number here. Same percentage G. So write here 1.5. Which format?
Decimal.
Decimal format. So percentage G is a common format. If it is a small number, it will display in your decimal format. If it is a big number, it will display in exponential format.
So
But percentage F.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What if a number is starting with 0 point something, 0.1?
Anything it will be just about 0.567 here. It is a small number. It will display same thing because it's a small number.
Yes.
Okay. But in case of E cap here, if I give E here, what will happen? Though it is a small number.
Power minus.
Though it is a small number, it will display in which format? Exponential format. So percentage F is for floating point, percentage E for exponential, and percentage G is for common. If it is small number, it will be small. If it is a big number, it will be.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, why is it E minus then the
0.0 something, because it is converted into that 3 point something into, because shifting point shifted to right and shifted, when it is shifted to left, it will be your false positive, and when it is shifted to right, it will be.
Okay.
Next one. What printf returns? I think we have discussed it.
So the number of characters.
Yes, sir, number of characters.
Printf returns an integer indicating how many characters we have entered. That means if I write x is equal to printf kit, the x value will be 4. Okay. The printf returns an integer indicating how many characters it. Yeah, what you guys examples? You have done it. Okay. Now, what is the storage class? What is the storage class? This is in declaration, variable. Variable declaration, use this storage class. Can anyone tell me what is a storage class? If someone asks in the interview, what is a storage class? Because as a fresher, they will ask you fundamental question first, then check your projects.
Sir,
Okay.
what is static?
No, but I am not as the example. I have asked what is a storage class?
Accessibility of variables and functions. Yes, sir.
Okay,
So all
storage
variables
class.
that are declared will be stored here, I think. The values, etc.
Storage class provide core information to the compiler about the variable. When storage class is used in variable declaration, that provide core information about the variable to the compiler. What are the 4 information provided by the storage classes? Let me explain it. One is storage location, means where the variable will be created. Okay. Second is initial value. Third is scope of the variable, and fourth is the lifetime. Okay. Lifetime of the variable. These 4 information is provided by the storage classes, and we have 4 storage class in C. 550 is there, that is your type def, we'll learn later. But here we are learning 4 storage classes. That is your auto, which is default. Then we have a register. Okay. Then we have static. Then we have external. Okay. Auto, register, static, and external. These are the 4 storage classes we have.
Sir, what static is mainly used for object creation and other.
Yeah,
So why?
C, we are learning C. Yeah, we don't have any object.
Yes, so that's why I was asking you. Static.
I'll give the example of all this. Okay. It's important, and so many output question they ask from. Sometimes some company asks from this storage class also. I'll show you the use of external, use of static, use of register, and make the fundamental clear on all this code. This is a very, very important part of C, the storage. Okay. See there what I'm explaining here. Storage location. When I declare float x is equal to 0.3, by default, the storage class is auto. Means when you are not mentioning anything, the storage class is auto here. Okay. Means if I write here, auto intx is same as only intx. Okay. Is same as only intx. Auto is the default storage class. Where the variable will be created. What is the storage location of x? Where the variable will be created. What is storage location? It will be created in the RAM. You can say the stack area of RAM. Okay. RAM especially which area? The stack. Okay. Stack area of RAM. If I write register intx, it will be created in the CPU register. When I have to use the register, we use the for loop in the program for I is equal to 1, okay, I less than n or 100. We write like this as counter, I take the count I as counter. This I should be declared as register intx. If I use register instead of inti, if I register inti, my execution will be faster. So what is the difference here? If I write register inti, that will be created in the CPU register, and my processing will be faster. We have CPU registers are there to make the processing faster nowadays, and this capacity is limited. We cannot make all the variables as registered here. Okay, CPU register. The variable is created in the CPU register and make the processing faster. Now, if I declare static intx or external intx, it will be created in the data area. That is the data. Like stack area, heap area, code area, we have a data area also. Stack area is for static memory allocation, heap area is for dynamic memory allocation, and there is a data area also where the static and external variable will be stored. It will be created in the data area, the storage location. So from the storage class, the compiler can know where the variable will be created. Data area, this is known as data area. Okay, this is a data segment, data area. Okay. So the variable will be created in the data area if I declare these are static and external. Well, I'll give the example of static and external. Don't worry. Now let me finish all this for you. Initial value. In case of auto, if I not give any initial value, it will be garbage. What is garbage? It is an inapplicable value that cannot be used anywhere. In case of register, it will also garbage. Okay. But in case of static and external, it will be 0. Initial value will be 0. Scope. You know the variable has a local scope and a global scope. Local means your block scope or function scope. What is scope meaning here? Scope means if I declare the variable within the function, okay, like intx, auto intx here, it can be accessed only within this main function. It cannot be accessed outside. But if I declare any variable outside this main, it can be used anywhere in the program. That will be a global variable. Now, in case of auto intx here, if I write auto int inside a block, the scope will be local. Okay, local. In case of register, the scope will be also local. Local means it can be accessed only within the block in which it is declared. In case of static, that is also local. But in case of external, it will be global. I will give the example. Don't worry. Okay. Let me finish this. I'll take the example and show you the local and global. Lifetime. Lifetime means up to what extent it will remain in the memory.
So for RAM, I guess it's for runtime purpose only. After runtime.
No, it will be till end of the block or function, not the program. Okay. Till end of, it will remain in the memory till end of block. Block means what? Function.
So means like, yes, function, or maybe in some statement like if or for.
Maybe a while loop also. Loop is also a block.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And it will remain in the memory till end of the block. I'll take an example, don't it? Till end of the block. CPU register, this is also till end of the block. Means after the end of the block, it will remove from the memory. Till end of block. Block can be a function, can be a loop, anything. But in case of static and external, it will remain in the memory. The lifetime is till end of the program. Means after the end of the block, it will also remain in the memory. I'll give example here. And till end of program, not block. End of program. I'll give an example. Don't worry. Okay. And this is also same till end of the program. It will remain in the memory till okay, till end of program. Okay, let me explain this with examples. Okay.
So these were the components of storage class, right?
Yes, these 4 storage class we have: auto, register, static, and external. And these are the 4 information provided by these storage classes to the compiler about the variable or identifier. Okay. Now, without example, you could not understand all this. Let me give the example. Okay. This is the theory part I have explained. Now, with the example, I will make it more clear. Okay, let me write a program so that you will understand what will happen. So, I write here int I is equal to 3. Okay. While I minus minus, then right here, again I declare int I is equal to 100. Okay. After the example, you understand the is of static. Okay. Now I write here printf %d, then minus minus I. Can anyone tell me what is the output of this program? If I run the program, what is the output?
99, 99, 99.
Okay. You know how many times the loop will execute? 3 times. This while loop will execute 3 times. And in the output, it will be 99, 99, 99. Let me run this program first. Then I'll explain it how it is working. Output is 99, 99, 99. Now, first explain it, then I'll use static. If I use static, then what happens? So what happens here? In C, when I start a curly bracket, a new scope started here. Okay, like your curly bracket started here and ends here. A scope, new local scope or block scope started here. This I and this I is different.
Yes, sir.
Okay, because this I is within block and this I is outside block. This means these two I is same and these two I is same. Okay.
Yes,
Now, when first time the program will execute, it will be while 3. Okay, while 3. You know, any non-zero number is true. Any
no,
non-zero
sir,
number is true.
that I wasn't knowing. That's why I got confused how we are using
Any
minus
non-zero
sign.
number is true. Remember, any non-zero number is true. Okay, when it will be 0, it will false. Now, when it is true, the new block or new scope started here. A new I is created here with value 100. Okay. Now, when I print percentage D minus minus I, this pre-decryptment, so 99 will be printed first. Now, when this block will end here, this I will be removed from the memory. Okay, I will be removed from the memory. Then the loop will continue. Now it will become while 2 because another minus minus is there. This I minus minus is there, so it will become 2. Now while 2 is also true. Again, one block is created with I is equal to 100 again. Means again I will be created with value 100. Okay, and again minus minus I 99 will be printed. Okay, then when this block ends, this I will be removed from the memory. Okay, because lifetime is a local variable, you can say. Lifetime is still end of this block. Then again the loop will continue. Now it will become while 1. Okay, it will become while 1 because it was 2. Now it will become while 1. Now while 1 is also true. Again I will be created with 100 because it's not there in the memory. And now minus minus I will be 99. Okay, then when this block ends, this I will be removed from the memory. But this I is there because this block is not until now. So it will continue. Then what it will be? 0. Because I minus minus is there. Now it will be 0. Now while 0 means what? In C, 0 means false.
False. Out
So
of
the loop will not execute. Then the program will end. Now what is the output here? 99, 99, 99. So these are all auto variables. Only INTI is same as your auto INT. Now let me change this program. Okay. Let me convert into static INT. Can anyone tell me what is the output here?
So it should be an infinite loop.
I only added 9 static here. Now see the output. The output has been changed. 99, 98, and 97. It is not 99, 99, 90. Now let me explain it. How it become 99, 98, 97. Because previously it was 99, 99, 97. 99. 399 was there. Now it is 99, 98, and 97. Now I'll explain the lifetime and scope of the way. Now, when I declare static INTX, if a variable is declared as static, it will create it only once. It will create an initialize only once for the first time when the block is executed. You can say this is the block. Okay, it started here and ends here. This is the block. When first time when the block will be executed, this I will be created. Okay, and its value will be 100 initially. Okay. Now let me execute it. Now while I means it will be while 3. That means you can say this while loop execute how many times? 3 times. 3, 2, 1. When it will be 0, it will come out of the loop. Now when first time it will execute for while 3, then it will become 2. While 3. While 3 means what? True. It will enter into the loop. I will be created. In which area? This I is there in stack area. This I will be created in which area?
Data area.
Data area. And initially with 100. And what will be printed here? 99 will be printed.
Sir, what
Yes.
will happen if we, instead of writing int I equals to 3, we will write static int I equals to 3?
Just wait. Let me explain this one. Okay. Let me explain this one
Okay.
first. Okay. Now, it will print 99. Okay. Now, next time, it will be while 2. But what happened in this case? It will not create once again. It will remain in the memory. Okay. And it will start with the previous value. What is the previous value? 99. Now, minus 99. What will be printed here? 98. After the end of the block, I is not deleted from the memory. It is there in the memory because it is static. Okay. Now, if we continue here, this will continue. This will be 1. Now, it will previous value, that will be 98. Because static variable is created and initialized only once for the first time when the block is executed. Now, minus I, 97 will be printed. But next time, this will be while 0 and it will come out of the loop. So, output is 99, 98, and 97. So, now what is the difference between only INT and static INT? Only INT, it will be created each time the block is executed. Initialized, created and initialized. But in case of static, it will created and initialized only once for the first time when the block is executed. Second time when the block will be executed, it will be there in the memory. Okay, it will be there in the memory. Okay, now here it is 98, 99, 98, 97. Because static INTI will be created and initialized only once for the first time when the block is executed. It will not, it will remain in the memory after the end of the block also. Okay, this is my block. After the end of the block also, it will remain in the memory. But only INTI, after the end of the block, it will remove from the memory. Okay, but static INTI, if I write static here, it has only one block here. It will remain in the memory till end of the block here. Maybe INTI, these are no effect here. Okay, because main is called only once. We are not calling main so many times. Suppose there is a function is there inside that I have used static INTI, then if the function is called 100 times, but it will initialize only once for the first time when the function is called. But here there will be no changes. If I write static. Okay. No changes. Now let me explain the extern. Okay, extern variable. What is the use of extern? Let's clear it first. The skin. Okay. Let me change this one. So when I declare here int x is equal to 10. Okay. Int x is equal to 10. And I write here extern int x. Now if I write printf percentage dx, you know what will be printed here? Extern spelling TERN. You know what is the output here?
0.
0. No. What is printed here?
10.
10. I may declare here or any part of the program, it will refer to that one. If I write here also after this, it will refer to that one. 10.
So, because it's a global variable.
Okay. What is the extern here? Now, if I remove this one, can I not tell me what is the output here? If I remove
0.
no, it will,
Garbage
So,
value.
it will be the garbage value.
value
That is stored
it
in
will
a.
give error. Okay. Undefined reference to x. Means x, external int x is just a declaration, not definition. Okay. External int x is a declaration. Yeah. It should means the variable must be defined somewhere else in the program. Otherwise, it will give error.
Yes.
It is just referring to that one, external variable, external x. External means, int x means x is referring to an external variable whose name is x. It may be in same program, maybe in other programs also. Let me explain in other programs. Okay. I'll write another program. Okay. This program I'll write int x is equal to 20. I'll save this program. File save. I'll write here. This is 431. Okay, Pro 31. Let's run this program. It will not run because main function is not there. We cannot run this program because the main function is not there. So we have to run this program here. Now let's compile this one. Okay. When main is not there, so I can write. Okay. Right. Just let me write some other code here also. Has include std io.h. Then int main here. Okay, just right. Okay.
So why did you put the value of x outside the main?
Yes.
Which one? Because scope will be different. Scope will be different. I want a file scope here. Scope will be different. Local is it will local.
Okay. Achha.
Now it will giving error here. But if I write here, has include std, sorry, इसका नाम क्या था? Pro 31.c. Double quotation Pro 31.c. And let me write here. Let me remove this one. Okay. And also remove this one because that will be Control S. You know, we can include one .c file within another .c file also. I can write like this. One .c file can be included within another .c file also. I can write as include Pro 31.c.
Sir, this is the name of a file that is saved to your computer.
Yeah. The name of the file, Pro 31. I have saved it, Pro 31. Okay.
So isn't this technically like object-oriented programming?
No. What is showing here? Tell me here.
So we'll include class name.h.
What is the output here?
20.
20 is there in Pro 31.c. Okay. Means any external is there to refer to any external variable. External int x. Okay. Only external int x you cannot write. It will give error. The variable must be defined somewhere else in the program or in other program. It must be defined somewhere else. Here it is defined. Pro13.1. It must be defined either same program or any other programs. It must be defined somewhere else in the program or in any other programs. We can do that. External will refer to that one. Okay, which is externally defined. Okay. Now let me here write also. Now if I write here, suppose int, none here. I cannot write here. Suppose here I write here int x is equal to 20. Will it be acceptable?
Yes.
Then my same int as and within the same scope. Within same scope, we cannot give an error. Okay. Same scope. So it may be there in different scope. It should be here. It can be here also in different scope, not in the same scope. Okay. Isliye to uska external mein. External means outside the scope. Okay. Now it will be acceptable.
Yes.
Outside of deferment, that doesn't matter. Okay.
Yes. So while we were declaring int x equal to 20 inside means inside the main function, so was the compiler getting confused?
Yes. Two variables with same name within same scope. In different scope, we can have variable name different same, but in same scope, it can be same name. Okay.
So in this code, if we are putting some other values, like we are exporting some values from Pro31, then the priority will be given to which value?
Which one?
So suppose in Pro31.c file, there is an int x value. It is assigned
30.
to
30 suppose. But it will link to which one? This one, current one.
Okay. Then the priority will be given to 20 or 30.
It will give 20 here. Because external means here, first it will search within the same program. Okay?
Yes.
It's there here externally. Okay. So external will refer to any external variable. Difference. Okay. And that will linkage will be there between this x and this. Okay. This x, there is a link. So this x value is, so due to this linkage, x value is printing here is 20. Due to this linkage here, x value is 20. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now if I make this value, what do you have giving here? It will give error here. X has both external and initializer. So it should not be initialized here. Okay. But now if I do not give any value here, what is the output? Will it be garbage?
Show error.
So error.
0.
Oh, 0. It will not give any error.
Why?
Why,
Because,
sir? It's not initializing.
but where it is created? In data area?
Yes, but it's not initialized to 0. Right.
And I have told you that in static and external variables are initialized to 0 when no value is given.
Okay.
When no value is given, it will automatically initialize 0. No
But
garbage.
that means it is means it's by default, right?
Yes, by default. In case of external. Okay. External and static is by default 0. In case of only int, it is garbage. Okay. It is showing 0 here. Okay. But I cannot initialize here, like this external 10. Now,
so both external and static will give means in similar condition will give same output, right? If variable.
If I write static here.
Yeah.
Static is, if I write static here, the scope is changed here. The scope is local.
Yes.
But it will remain in the memory till end of the program. But scope is local. But external scope is what? Global.
Global.
Okay. So these are the storage classes we are discussing. The 4 storage classes.
Any example for register?
Register for I give the example now for register int I is equal to 0. For in for loop I can use this I. Okay.
Yes.
What is modifier? I think we have discussed what is modifier. There are 2 types of modifier in C. There are 2 types of modifier in C. One is size modifier. Another is sign modifier, which modifies the variables. Size can be short and long. Okay. It can be short or long. Long int x, short int x. Sorry. I did. SIGN. Okay, sign. GN को G का sign. Okay. Sign is your signed and unsigned.
Unsigned.
GNED. Signed and unsigned. You all know of this. Unsigned. We use in variable declaration all these things. These are the modifiers here. So there are 2 types of modifiers, size modifier and sign modifier. Size modifier is your short and long. Short int, it is always 2 byte. Okay. But only int can be 2 byte, 4 byte or 8 byte depending on the compiler. But short int is always 2 byte. Okay. The short modify the integer. Size of the integer. Signed and unsigned is there. Signed in, unsigned in. Unsigned integer means only positive values can be stored. What is qualifier? We have 2 qualifier. One is honesty. Another is volatile. I think we have discussed it, volatile. Okay. Volatile. Okay. What is the constant int x? The value cannot be changed. Only int x, the value can be changed. But if I add honesty qualifier, the value of x cannot be changed. It will be a constant. Means the variable is qualified to be a constant. But if I use volatile, the variable can be accessed and modified outside the program by other programs. The variable can be accessed. Those who know multi-threading in C, they can write program. Multi-threading. In C also we have multi-threading. Yeah. You have to learn multi-threading too for this exam. So you can note down if a variable is declared as volatile, it can be accessed and modified outside the program by other programs. Means we can run more than one program simultaneously. If you want the variable of one program should be accessed by other programs, then that variable must be declared as volatile. Remember the concept only. Okay. Volatile.
So will you repeat the definition, sir, once more? Volatile.
If a variable is declared as volatile, it can be accessed and modified outside the program by other programs. Means more than one program can run simultaneously. If you want the variable of one program should be accessed by other program, then that variable must be declared as volatile. It is used in multi-threading in C. I think you all don't know.
Sir, in extern, it will not change the value of the original value, right?
Which one?
Sir, if we have like a int x in one program.
Extern means it is same program. We are including it. We are not running the second program. We are running the first program.
Okay. Sir, but you tried for another program that didn't work.
But in case of volatile, if 2 programs are running simultaneously, then the variable can be accessed. Okay. But in case of external,
what about INTX?
Which are only INTX?
Yes.
Only INTX is the only, it can be accessed only within the program.
it is also kind of qualifier, right?
Only which INTX is a qualifier?
Yeah.
INT is a data type. How it is a qualifier?
Sir, you only told that CONST and volatile and INTX was.
No, when I write CO constant INTX.
Okay.
Constant INTX is equal to 10. Now this constant is CONST is a qualifier which makes this variable constant, which value cannot be modified. Similarly, I can use volatile INTX also. It can be accessed and modified outside the program. Remember the definition. Okay. Because you don't know multi-threading program. Remember the definition. In the interview, they ask. No one asks the program for this volatile. They ask what is volatile. What is the use of volatile? Okay. So for today, this much. Okay. Next class we'll start programming. We'll do some important programs. Those are me asked in previous year. We'll start with pattern programs. We'll start with looping programs. We cannot do all programs in these classes. Those are important. Those have been asked in placements previous year. Placement drives. We'll discuss those coding questions. Okay, I'm not going to teach you the syntax of if, else, for, while. You have to recall all these things. Okay, I'm not going to teach you the syntax of if, switch, loop. Okay, this is not the class for all these things. We'll do the program. Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.